There's so much. I'm telling people, I'm like, I'm streaming, I'll get back to you later, you know? Trying to, oh, I got, oh. I considered not streaming this. This is why I pushed stream back, because I was in a meeting and then getting this done and blah, blah, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, what if I just reply guy all day, you know? Because I might have to, but yeah, they can come here if they want to talk. I've already replied to a lot of people, so I'll get back to them later. I'll get back to them later. But yeah, there's a lot. I don't know if you guys read it already. I pinged the Discord. Sorry, I can't talk today. I pinged the Discord with my Twitter post for you guys. But I'll recap for anyone who hasn't seen. Go here. I'm really trying to get my cat off of my arm. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay. I'll get my tweet. He's just gonna stay there. All right. So I tweeted. You can go read the tweet if you want. Today, I fully announced that I am starting a company. I'm starting a company. People have been, I'll say it, I don't know how to say it nicely, but they've been begging me to start a company. But I think a lot of what they wanted was they just wanted me to do more of the same thing, right? They're like, oh, if these person, these people, if this person, blah, 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 didn't handle it well, then why don't you do it? But I think that wasn't really the right solution to the issues I was seeing. Yeah, they wanted me to start like a VTuber Corpo or something like that. And honestly, that's not, I don't need to start another one, right, to fix the issues. That's only going to fix it for a few people, assuming it even goes well. You know, what changed your mind? Nothing changed my mind because I didn't make a VTuber Corpo. So we'll talk about what I'm actually doing. Yeah, my goal has never been to make a VTuber Corpo or anything like that. My goal is to actually fix problems, and I don't think making another one fixes issues. So the TLDR is, I'll give you a little background. So sponsorships are one of the biggest ways that creators make money, and the biggest way that game companies are able to get news about their stuff out there. They can post about things. They can hope that content creators make content about their stuff, but through sponsorships, they can get that out to more people, have more people at least try it, right? And it's huge for them. It's huge for the gaming industry, especially because a lot of this industry is very much filled with viewers that want to watch things be tested before they play it. They like the test drive kind of thing. So sponsors are a big part of this industry, right? Because this encourages a lot of variety streamers to try playing a lot of games that they might not always pick up, but it's kind of similar to what they might. And that gets stuff in front of you so you can decide if you want to buy. And then generally this whole community of people that watch on Twitch and on YouTube, all of that, are really huge on that. They want to see stuff first before they get into it. It's a lot of the reason why people watch streams, honestly. It's something that keeps them coming back. So sponsorships for games like hold up this industry really heavily. They enable creators to go full time, all of this stuff. It's huge. Yet, the way it's handled right now is so archaic and terrible. Genuinely. So archaic and so open to being messy and being not handled well. And no one actually changes how it works. They just keep making new companies and going, I'll do better this time. But nothing about the way it's systemized is able to change because they're just one person on one side, right? So I've been watching this for a very long time. And you guys know I take a lot of sponsors. And a big part of that is because I've been working on something relating to this. And I've been making sure that I test drive a lot of these publishers on myself, really, right? And making sure that working with them is good and all this stuff. And I've really figured out what makes a lot of these kind of engagements work and not work. And how to, my goal isn't to just be like, oh, these ones are good to work with and that's it. And I don't want to work with the rest. That's not it. The goal for me is to make a way for it to work out no matter what. Because it's hard for it not to work out because things are just systemized the right way. Because none of this should be hard. This is not stuff that should be hard. And a lot of the issues that I've seen are just from general messiness, not really that these people can't even be in this industry or something. It's not that. So what I thought was the right way to do this is to build a tool, build something for people to use to systemize a bit better. So I've been building a platform in secret and working on this for a while, since like last year. And what I'm going to do is the sponsorship company that I've been working with as of late, and I've been taking sponsors from, that I've been very involved with, I'm going to acquire that company. I'm going to acquire it and merge it together with the platform I've been building to make this all function. And it's still really, really, really early, but I wrote this in the tweet. We've already handled hundreds of thousands of dollars in creator payouts. It's already been working. It's been working for a while. We've worked with a ton of creators, and we've successfully been running for a while now. And this isn't something I'm just starting up new and we haven't done. We've been doing this, and now I'm adding my leg of this that I wanted to make a software platform for onto a thing that already works, right? So yeah, it's already functioning. it's already functioning, and I'm just making like a slightly different version of it that will do the same thing in a lot of ways and some new stuff. And I was trying to just stay as purely a content creator in this space for a while, but I have the background that I have, and it's really hard to just watch no real solutions pop up in a space that needs it very badly. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. The thing I'm making is not just going to be for creators, though. I think a lot of attempts at solutions are things that really are only made to serve one side of this, which doesn't fix the issues. So I'm trying to bridge that. So I'm trying to build something that all parties use. So the sponsors themselves, right? The vendors, the publishers, the game devs have tools on there that they want to use that are good to help them out. And then also the creator side and their own agencies, their managers, all of this can use this stuff and also be helped out. Because I find, again, a lot of these tools they're made to be marketed at one side of things and to try and help one side of this stuff, but it doesn't fix the fact that there are issues everywhere, right? So they all kind of fail for those same reasons. And, you just need something to bridge all of this. You have to. So that's what I'm building. And yeah, we've already, I mentioned in the tweet, we're already the exclusive vendor for Koei Tecmo. Obviously, I'm wearing my Neo outfit right now. You can see this project was done through this. But I've done a lot of sponsors with Koei Tecmo, and we're fully exclusive with them. So if anyone wants to work with Koei Tecmo, they've had to go through us this whole time. Because we're the only ones that they want to work with. Koei Tecmo doesn't want to, they're like, we only want to work with you. People can go through you. Which is a good thing. It's a testament to how well we've been doing, genuinely. It's been really, 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 really nice. So yeah.
Hello, Geega.
Hi.
Congrats on the new company.
Thank you.
Second, and genuinely asking, is your company hiring, and if so, is remote work an option? I've got over 20 years experience in customer service and no shipping software.
I will either reach out individually to people or post about job listings if we need something. If I need something, I'll post about it. You'll hear about it. Or I've already got someone that I've brought in. I have my own team that's been working on this, but yeah, we might have need of like that kind of stuff, right? As you expand out the horizontal stuff over time. But you'll hear about it. Yeah, you will. One of you asked, is this going to impact your streaming a ton? Like, will you be too busy to stream as often? Well, considering as how we've been building it this whole time and it hasn't impacted it, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be totally all right. Because this has been happening on the back end this whole time. I'm not suddenly going to start working as of today. I've been working. So, it's already been like that. So no, it's not going to affect anything.
I can be a mascot faction redeems chat.
You want to put the mascot suit on? Yeah, we have to get a little marketable mascot. Make plushies of it. But yeah, no, it's not going to affect any of that. But yeah, I sent a link via that tweet. I posted a link where people can apply. So if anyone's a creator, or if you guys are fans of any creators that are like, you know, really need something like this, this is something you can send to them. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. You guys can ask questions. I'm not gonna go too in depth into it right now.
Is this similar in nature to Geek Plus?
No, it is not.
Entirely different.
Entirely different. We're not a talent agency, a talent management company. We're not any of that. And it's not meant to replace that. It's just meant to enable people who don't have that to use this and get sponsors, or people who already have that to be able to do better with that.
In the chat. The jobs are down in the well. Take the first exit on the right, down the hall at her, and turn left of Jeff.
Exactly.
Listen to him.
Shh, don't listen to that last guy. Don't listen to that last guy. No, Mr. Crow, no, it's a platform. So it's not. Yeah, well, you said, how do sponsorships work right now? Do they just cold call streamers? Kinda, yeah, sometimes. So okay, here's the stuff that doesn't work. Here's the stuff that doesn't work. And I'll explain it, how it works right now. If you post an email somewhere publicly, sponsors might reach out to you. They usually don't.
Only, what is the name of the company?
You'll find out later. They do cold call. And then they don't even tell you what they're offering sometimes. Sometimes they do. A lot of the time, they also go, pitch to me what you want. For a lot of indie creators, they could do this, but it's like the system where you're sitting here and emailing them back and forth. You know, most emails don't get checked often enough when it's an indie, right? Now, maybe they have an agency with an agent or a manager that actually does check their stuff, right? Maybe they do have that. That's great. But then a lot of stuff still gets lost because they're using email. There's so much stuff when they're trying to get these sponsors to the creator. There's so much information that gets lost. And it's a lot of time wasted. I think that's the big thing is I've noticed, because I've done this myself independently, where I'm just sitting there cold answering all of my own emails and doing my own outreach. I've had agencies do it for me. I've had my own personal managers do it for me. Like I've tried all of the different routes. I've tried platforms and things. And nothing has been designed in a way where it fixes that ever. Ever. They really do not. It just, there's so much messiness that occurs, and then everyone's left unhappy on all sides a lot of the time by that. And it's usually miscommunication. It's usually not people aiming to do wrong by each other, anything like that. You know, it's usually just that stuff gets missed. And then, you know, there's a lot of ways that information can be obscured, or things can be confusing, or whatever. And I just want to make sure that things are done in a way where creators are not ripping their hair out trying to like understand what they're supposed to do for a sponsorship, the terms, all this stuff. And I want to make sure that publishers as well, because I talk to a lot of them, devs and studios and things, and they have so many issues getting to creators as well, trying to find the right people for their stuff that they're trying to do. They don't sit there and research every single person, know everything about them. Number one. Okay. Number two, they do not have the time. They have like one rep, you know, who reaches out. So they only end up reaching out to the big agencies that already exist or large creators. They don't reach down to the small ones, when many of those actually would be really good for those sponsorships. But it's inefficient for them to do it, so they don't do it. That's kind of what it ends up being. And so what you end up with a lot of the time is, if you're a tiny creator, all you can do is get like that little sponsor that gives you $3 per sign up of a game or something. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all this stuff that's very not worth the creator's time. So there's really just nothing for a lot of people that are not the biggest creators ever. And then even then, the biggest creators, a lot of them are, some are independent, but a lot are with agencies. And the agencies themselves don't always have a Rolodex of everybody. They cannot contact every company and get you every sponsor as a potential. They don't have those connections a lot of the time. I used to think that they did. They don't, is what I'm realizing. On top of that, there are issues with people swapping in and out of different agencies and things. And every time they do, their own sponsor flow stops, because the agency will handle 100% of everything, right? Their eggs are all in one basket. So seeing as how that's a huge part of the money that they make and their ability to make a livelihood, let's assume that they're not the biggest creator ever. And, they need to make sure that their money's coming in and they're doing things right. If they are doing something that makes sense for them, right? And they want to switch to a different company, or maybe they want to go independent, whatever, you shouldn't have to like throw everything to the side and stop all of your business really just because you're not with that agency anymore, because they're the only ones that have your contacts and stuff like that. That shouldn't be the way it is. And same thing with an agency. When they get someone new in, they should be able to easily just pick it up and run with it, right? Every time someone joins a new agency, they have to sit there and spend so many hours onboarding each other, right? Like the creator will have to onboard their company to them and who they've worked with and what contacts they have, blah, 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 and then vice versa. And it's this long process. I don't understand why there's nothing that simplifies it. I don't. So I'm going to make something that simplifies all of this, really. I'm just going to make something that takes all these little things that keep like gunking it up and just ungunk it. Because it's just so much, there's just so much stuff that I see no point in there being, right? There's so much stuff that happens on the back end that it's been years where no one's actually come up with good solutions. They're just like, oh, join my company instead. I'll get you sponsors. But they do everything the same way. Maybe they do it well, but they do it the same way. Nothing's changed and everything's inefficient. So I'm going to try and make that a little better. Or so is my hope. Hi, Joel. About damn time. Yeah. What's the complaints a VTuber might have that you're hoping to solve? Like, what's something that make me suggest to a streamer, oh, you should check out Geega's company? Well, I'll give you one tidbit. I'm going to expand on this later. One of the big issues with VTubers and creators is every time you sign up to a sponsor, if you're independent, you have to sign a contract with them. Which means if you don't have someone signing for you, you're just signing for yourself, you would have to put all of your personal information on that contract. As a result, a lot of people will go and join agencies or have a manager or whatever to help with this. And it's a little messy. I think a lot of the agencies can handle these things just fine, but it's a little messy in sometimes the record keeping and how things go. A lot of the time, the agency ends up getting the contracts from the company and the creator doesn't even get to fully see it because everything's just held on the agency side, etc. So what I'm trying to do is also put a lot of this information in a place where everyone can see what they need. So if you have, let's say you're a creator and you have a personal manager and that personal manager signs on your behalf so you don't have to give up your info, well, they're not going to be the sole holder of that contract and you don't have to rely on them to send it to you. It will just be in a place on the platform where you can see it. So you can verify that things were done right. You can verify that what your manager told you the contract says is what it says, right? That's an example. A lot of things like that. There's going to be a lot more stuff like that. But the hope for me is a lot of the issues with information, like I said, being obscured, not always purposefully. It's just like messy is how I describe it, right? There's a lot of stuff that creators can't see because they're not the main ones, answering the DMs, answering the emails, whatever. That stuff, if something's going wrong or if they had someone who was a bad actor not trying to do right by them, they wouldn't know, right? A lot of people get got because they're not in control of this stuff. So I'm trying to build a platform in a way where that's not an issue. You can see everything in front of you. So if someone does do something wrong, they get caught with their pants down, not they're able to just continue doing this for forever until you finally realize something's bad 6 months, a year later, right? Because that's really how it goes. That is how it goes when these types of issues happen with creators and their managers and their agencies and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of people get caught really late because the creators don't have the info in front of them that they need. And vice versa. It's like this with the publishers and vendors too. Let's say I'm a publisher and I'm sponsoring you to play my game. You're a creator. And I handed your manager a list of, here's what's in the contract, here are the deliverables, right? Like you're supposed to do this stream for this amount of time. You're going to do a social post and you're going to put a panel in your about section, right? Let's say the creator does everything right, but they didn't put the panel in their about section. I, the publisher, have no idea if the creator just refused to and forgot or whatever, or if maybe their manager didn't send them the info. I don't know who messed up. I have no visibility, nothing. I don't know if the stuff that I sent them actually is in a place where the creator can see it. I don't know, right? Maybe I don't want to work with that creator anymore. Maybe I do. Maybe their manager messed up. I don't know. Things get really messy. So my hope is to take this information and just aggregate it into a spot where everyone can see, source of truth kind of moment. Everyone can see what has been said and to whom. And this way, it's not hard to wade through all of this messiness and try and figure out like where mistakes happened or anything like that, right? Yeah, and you don't want assumptions too, right? You don't want assumptions. So this way, a publisher could be like, hey, here's the panel image that you need. Here's the thing you're supposed to post on Twitter. Here's the stuff. And they put it somewhere and the manager and the creator can see it, right? Nothing should get lost like that. Yes, proper paper trails and all that, because that doesn't exist. Like I said, everything is just in emails. And a lot of the time, there are agents and reps from companies on both sides handling all the in-between. And the actual studio making the game or the publisher and the creator have no idea what's been said on either side. like the specifics, right? They just know what their own person told them. So I find that that's where a lot of the messiness happens. And if something goes wrong and someone's like, oh, let me verify, let me see what happened here, it takes 30 minutes of emailing and DMing and trying to figure stuff out and looking through paperwork to figure something out when you could just click and find it. You know what I mean? Why don't we just make a thing where they could just click and find it? So that's kind of where my head was at with building this platform and working on this, is just cleaning up every bit of messiness that allows issues to happen, because they shouldn't. I genuinely think all this stuff is pretty easy to keep in check, but it requires a lot of manpower if you don't have a tool for it. So if you have a really good manager, they're keeping really good records, whatever, that guy is working 1 billion hours a week just to do right by you. It's a lot. It's a lot. And a lot of this stuff should not have to be done so manually by the ones who are trying to do it right. And I want good managers and good agencies to have more time to take in more people and do their good work for them. But if they're sitting there and that one rep is spending hours and hours and hours handling emails like this, it's just making it so that good person is now bogged down, right? There's no reason for it. So my goal is to free up those people too, or especially something I'm seeing more in this industry is, instead of people just joining agencies, there are more people hiring their own individual managers or a singular agent. And those people don't have the access to a lot of the folks that a large company would often have. So that person could be really good at their job, but maybe they don't have a Rolodex of all these contacts, right? They're not best friends with every rep from every company. So if someone's a quote unquote good manager, I don't think that they should have to also just magically conjure up a great list of contacts that they've never contacted before, right? It's just a huge undertaking, and that shouldn't be a part of that job, quote unquote, where that's a skill-based thing, right? Or not even a skill-based thing. It shouldn't be a part of your resume where you're like, oh, you should hire me as your manager because I have these contacts. How about the contacts are just available, and if you're a good manager, you're a good manager, right? These should be separate things. These should be available to people. Because I do know some people that have, especially after a lot of stuff imploded in 25 and a lot of people were kind of left without jobs, there's several people who've gone on to be independent managers like that. But if they weren't the person doing all this outreach to all these companies and handling publishers and having relationships with them, if they want to represent a streamer now as their individual manager, and that person's not with an agency, and they want to get those sponsors, they have to cold email every single one of them and hope they reply and hope that they can get to the rep. And it's like this huge undertaking that I'm just looking at this happening all this last year. I was thinking why? Literally why? Right? Why does this exist? Why is it like this? This is stupid. Actually stupid. And it's no one's fault, really. It's just no one fixed it, right? No one made something to fix it. So that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to fix. It's all very back end, and it affects everyone, quite literally everyone. There are problems on all sides. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, I figured that would be a much better use of my skill set, my time, than people being like, make a VTuber corpo. There are plenty out there, and I think a lot of them are doing fine. I don't need to make one, they're doing great. It's really fine. You know, I'll make something that they can use instead. There's several we've already worked with where a lot of VTubers that have been taking sponsors, it's through this already. It's just through this already, right? And it's worked out, and it's helped them a lot. It's helped them a lot because their managers can spend time managing them and doing that part of their job and not sitting there and, like I said, just replying to 1,000 email chains to try and figure out what's worth taking and blah, blah, blah. Instead, I can just consolidate stuff for them and you know, help out. So, yeah. Yeah. So did I imagine a ton of work had to be done on the legal aspects? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the, I think that's a big reason why a lot of solutions have not been created. It's genuinely, I think, first of all, not a lot of people have the skill set they need to make this sort of thing. They tend to be more like, the people with the willingness tend to be more on the talent side, and they're not people that make platforms, right? Generally. And then a lot of the people that make these platforms aren't creators themselves or don't know much about the talent side, so they don't even make things that make sense for us. And then when there's that small subset of people that might actually be able to do it, that then think about doing it, usually they get up to the point of having to deal with the legal side and they go, oh my God, and they don't want to do it. So I'm tanking that. I'm tanking that and dealing with that side of it as well to try and make sure that this all makes legal sense too. It's a huge, a lot of the laws are very archaic with how this stuff all works. Me and the team have been sitting in VC just like, you ever see those tax commercials where a person's like, I don't know how to do my taxes, and they're holding their head and it's all grayscale? That's us. While we're sitting in VC reading over how everything works, you know, and trying to make our solutions make sense with it, trying to make it fit. And we're making it fit, like we're doing it, but you know, that's how the work feels. So, so I think that's a big reason why these types of tools don't really get made, you know? Yeah, decrypting the legal jargon, it's huge. What'd you say, Trey? Ooh, yes, this is a good one. You said, I think the core issue comes from the conflation of agent and manager and how those are two entirely separate roles. Yes, I try to explain this to people and they don't know this. Managers should be more of a PA role, making sure deliverables are actually being hit. Agents should be the ones bringing in, locking down leads, etc. It's very rare to find someone capable of doing both. Exactly. And I feel like if you're a good PA, personal assistant, or a good manager of the talent, but you're not really much of an agent, you don't, like I said, you don't have that Rolodex of people, you shouldn't be incapable of getting jobs doing the management part. Because if something like what I'm trying to make exists, then it wouldn't matter. They could just do their role. And instead of having to like also be an agent, which again is a separate job, this helps. This bridges that. Right? Because there are people out there in this industry that are good managers, but they don't know anything about the being an agent part of it. Really. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to separate these things out. So, because another issue really is there are people that are trying to start up small agencies and small talent management companies and things, or their own little firms where they're just like one or two managers, right? Just with a couple of talent. And they often get stopped because a lot of what the creators want is they go, okay, get me sponsors, right? I want you to manage me. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. But also I really need sponsors if I'm going to afford your services. And that's where they stop because a lot of these people aren't agents. They're managers. So I don't want to see these independent managers and these smaller companies, these smaller talent management companies sink because they can't find sponsors for people because they're still needed too. You know, and some of them are really good at that part of the job. So hopefully, because it's really tough because then you only get these huge agencies, these giant whales of agencies existing, and everyone signs to the same few. And there's not a lot of competition. It's hard if you have unique needs and none of these companies suit your needs. There's only a couple of options. What do you do if none of them are right for you? Guess I'll die, right? Guess I'll die. It's tough. So I'm trying to make something that handles one portion of it so the people that are good at the other side of this type of job can still be enabled to exist, right? They should be able to exist. They shouldn't hinge on them being able to do two jobs, right? So hopefully. Let's cover other countries as well, just in US. I'll have more information on that stuff later. I will. It should function for everyone, but we're going through all the back end stuff to make sure everything's covered. But yeah, I heard you like managers, so we built a team of Geega managers to manage, helping your managers manage. Exactly. Well, it's just like I said, all of this is so messy. People don't even know, like you said, Trey, and I agree with. People don't even know the difference between a manager and agent. A lot of creators don't understand that until they've been deeper in that stuff for a while. And some people don't care. How do I say this? A lot of creators don't care. They just want to go somewhere and get the thing they want. They don't want to have to learn how all of the background stuff works. They don't want to have to learn the legalese. And I don't think they should have to either, right? They don't want to have to sit there and like educate themselves on all these different things. They just want a surface level understanding. They don't want to have to go in depth, right? Yeah, they just want to stream. They just want to do their job. And that's what their part of the job is, right? So I think that's the issue, right? Is everyone trying to do all this stuff has to wear 1,000 different hats and understand every little bit of everything to do an okay job. It shouldn't be like that. So I'm trying to make a service for one portion of it that I feel like is in the center of all of it and enables a lot of people to do their thing if it's done properly. I'm trying to build something right in the middle that just enables everyone else to do their portion and to not have to go and do all these other things that they really shouldn't be doing. That's really it. That's really it. You said today I learned the difference between a manager and an agent. Yeah, I mean, people don't know, and it's not something that you ever have explained to you unless you're in the industry and you're like really delving deep into the back end stuff. You know? You know what I mean? He said, I haven't understood a thing she said, but I'm glad she seems to be doing something. Hell yeah, brother. That's all you need to know. That's literally why I'm building this platform, so people don't have to think about it. Because you have to sit there and do so much required reading to understand this stuff. And you also, there's no place to read about this stuff. You have to sit there and talk to people in the industry to understand, which means you have to get connected to them in the first place, which most people aren't even. And then once you get an understanding, you're sitting there and you're like, well, now what I do? I spent all this time doing this and I need to do a damn stream, you know? So I'm just trying to make it so that everyone can do their portion of things comfortably and not have it be complex, not have it be a waste of time, you know? Not have it be a big waste of time. Agreed, Trey. You said wearing the hats of agent and manager are not scalable. Very true. Very true. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these small companies can't grow because they have managers. They could pull in more talent under these managers, but they don't, because these managers are also trying to be agents. They're also trying to be this and that and all these other things that I also want to delve into later that are just, it just eats up all of their time. And then their roster is like 5 people and that's all they can handle, you know? Not even. Sometimes it's just like 2 people because they're spending all of their hours elbow deep in emails that they don't need to be elbow deep in. So, how long has it been in the works? A long while. Various phases. It's been a minute, but since last year. I'd say I ramped up a lot of speed on it, and I started doing a lot more on it over the summer, with the 2025 implosion of like everything. I just was looking at everything, and I was like, yeah, I should really just hard focus on this. Get this done, work on this, getting this in front of people and everything. Because when I left my last company, I was able to be kind of okay. Because I already had my own framework on the back end, my own shit, right? So when I left my company, nothing slowed down for me. I was able to fall right in line into what I needed to do because I built out my own team for this stuff. And then I was thinking about it and I was going, wow, who has the access to their own team to build this out? This is really tough for most people to be able to do. So I just wanted to take kind of what I had and expand, that's really, really, really what I wanted for people, because I've seen so many issues like that with people leaving companies, joining companies, changing up how they do things, hiring in different staff, whatever. And you shouldn't have to pause everything just to make like a good decision for yourself. You really shouldn't. So that's my hope for the creator side, especially. Very much so. Was a break to work on this too? Every hour of every day is to work on this. Every little bit of everything is to work on this, man. Everything. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Trey. Every good idea built into something functional will always hit a what stops us from doing this for everyone phase. Yeah, I mean, for me, I was just doing this for myself at first to figure it out, right? To sit there and like make sure that I fully understand how this all works. How can I make these things better for my own things? And what people do I even need on my team? What makes up a team for a creator? And who do you need, right? All that kind of stuff. So I spent my own time doing that. It's been the past couple of years that I've slowly been doing that. Honestly, I've had a semblance of my own team since like 2022, you know, and then that's like moved and changed, different people coming in and out and figuring out what I need. And yeah, once I felt like I was at a good point where I was like, okay, I have the format figured out that works, and I know what tools people need, what we're missing here, where the gaps are. That's where I was at the point where I was like, now I have to build something because I see where other people don't have stuff. And I built, you know, systems for myself, tools for myself. But yeah, I think a whole platform is needed to get everyone kind of this type of access to this stuff, because it's just there's nothing. I ask people, hey, how are you doing your shit, right? How are you organizing everything as a creator? And people are like, well, I've got a manager, and they do, I don't know what they do, but they DM me with deals sometimes. And then when I have a sponsor, they just DM me the stuff I need to do. And I'm like every step of the way, all of this, sometimes it's not even an Excel sheet. That would be better sometimes if it was like a Google sheet, but no, it's like actually just people DMing each other everything. And I'm like, well, how do you know what the publisher said to them? What if you're supposed to have, like the example I gave before, you're supposed to do a tweet of a specific image, and then you tweet and you don't put the specific image and the publisher's pissed. How do you know? Did your manager mess up? How do you know? Right? Maybe it wasn't in the contract and maybe the publisher messed up. I don't know. No one knows anything. No one knows anything because there's just no oversight. It's just messy and there's no oversight anywhere. So I just want to consolidate all of that, because man, it is, they are using smoke signals out here to to tell each other anything and to get any of this done. It's really archaic. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. And I know this is the case in the world. A lot of big companies just use Excel sheets for everything, right? Like if it works, it works. But the problem is it's like not working. You know, there's so many times where this shit's not working. I don't know. And you might have seen me. I replied to someone earlier. Joel said something that really like stood out to me. I thought was very big. And he was saying that like when stuff like this happens, so he was saying he's been having an issue that he can't even publicly talk about. And he was like, this kind of stuff you're trying to do is going to fix that. I just want to say, for every issue you hear about with this part of the industry, with all the sponsorship stuff or creator money and their management companies or agencies, whatever, for every issue you hear about publicly, there are several more that have happened behind closed doors that people, due to various pieces of paper and contracts and things, cannot talk about. They cannot say anything in specific about. So you've seen some major implosions. You guys have seen a few, and every time it happens, people are like, oh my God, this is so crazy. But for every one you see, there are a lot more that are happening that no one can talk about. You know? Yeah, non-disparagement clauses, NDAs being certain ways sometimes. It's very common. So I, being who I am, do end up hearing about a lot of things that I probably shouldn't always hear about, but I do. And I'm just trying to aim to let that either not happen or be seen. The moment something starts getting weird, I want people to be able to smell it from all sides, from every side. Accountability is really important. Really, really, really important. but a lot of people's hands are tied. There's no way for them to get more accountability out of the way things are systemized right now at all. So that's what I'm really going for. That's what I'm really going for. Because for me, even with my issues that I've had, when I smelled something was wrong, I didn't have a way to prove it. I didn't have a way to prove it because that was simply not put in front of me. No matter how much I asked, no matter what I tried to do, everything I tried to do on the back end through all proper channels, all due process, everything, could not verify what the hell was going on. And obviously, you know, if something smells like shit, it's probably shit, right? I was very much able to tell something was wrong, but the verification part, the actual on-paper verification part was like impossible. So I took a risk. I went out on a limb and said, I think this is bad. I'm just going to go because I think it's wrong. But I was doing that under assumption, right? Because I still didn't have full verification. And it wasn't until some stuff later that was confirmed that then we were all like, oh, okay, here's some of the actual issues. Even then, a lot of stuff was still obscured, you know, from us. So I'm trying to make it so that that shit is damn near impossible to not find out about, right? That's what I want. That's what I want. What's your profit plan? Stuff like that we'll talk about later. I have like the thing I typed up and put on Twitter is like the preliminary one. And I had this longer post I was thinking of making that I didn't post because it was so long and it goes into like a lot of the extra stuff. And I was like, man, this is a lot. So I still have to go through and like shore that up. You know, profit is still step 3. No. We've been doing great. We have, my cat is on me. Like I said, we've already processed like hundreds of thousands of payouts to creators. So this is a thing that's already in place. This is not like a little baby company that's just going to start up and, you know, maybe we'll be successful someday. This stuff is already successful. I'm just now adding to it so it's more available to more people in a way that's actually scalable, because in its current form, without a platform version of this, it would be really hard to scale out. This is why people don't have these opportunities. So, yeah. Will I be a more billionaire? No, I'm probably going to be one of the last to be paid as far as that stuff goes, if ever. That's not really my goal with this. My goal is just to make it function, to make it work for people. You know? You know what I mean? But yeah. Trust the process, yeah. Exclusive contract with Koei Tecmo is a sick way to announce yourself. Yeah, we've been exclusive for them for a while now, actually. If you've seen anyone take any deals from Koei Tecmo, for a bit, it's just been us. So anyone else who was on like the Neo 3 campaigns, all us. Every single one of them had to go through this same channel, so. It's not like new exclusivity. We've been exclusive. LOL. Because they like working with us. Because we do shit right. Yeah, all the models. Yeah, Tenma's model. Sayako also had a model. Yeah, that was all. When it comes to the outfit stuff and doing all that stuff, a lot of that is me assisting as well. In the future, that'll be all me. But yeah. So this stuff has been working. It's been working on the back end this whole time, you know? So this isn't some sort of thing where it's like, how is it even going to work? It's been working, you know? And that's why I didn't want to, how do I put it? I was thinking about talking about this earlier and announcing this earlier, but I didn't, simply because like, I just thought it was more aura to be like, look at what we've done, instead of going, oh, here's what I want to do. I want to do this. I hope to do this, and that's it, right? Instead, I thought, you know, why not aura farm first? And just be like, look at what we've done so far. Because I don't like launching a thing without having substance behind it. So yeah, we've been doing this shit for months. We've been exclusive with Koei Tecmo for a while. We have so many vendors and publishers already on our Rolodex. Like I said, hundreds of thousands of dollars have already been properly paid to creators. They've gotten all of that. You know, it's all good. And I wanted to wait until it was at that point before I said, okay, now I'll talk about it publicly. Because I just feel like it needs to... Yeah, none of this is... Right, none of this is hypothetical. This is all happening already. But none of this is like, I plan to. It's going. So, yeah. Yeah. I think that's very important to me because it needs to happen that way. So many people say shit and then don't do shit. So I wanted to do shit first and then say shit, right? Hi, Raw Fury. There's another one that's worked through us. Actually, Devin. Raw Fury, if you guys saw me do the campaign for Rawcember, in December, we did Rawcember, which was them coming through with a lot of their games that they've had out for a while that they published. Raw Fury is a publisher, if anyone's like not sure. And we went through and played a lot of them. That was when I did like Call of the Sea, Dome Keeper, for example. They've published, I don't know, you guys name stuff. They published a lot of shit. Sansa Blake Manor as well. That was Raw Fury, and Rawcember was also a thing that we spearheaded. That campaign was something that we went through and got a lot of creators on. So, yeah, if you saw Rawcember, a lot of that was just us. Just us making sure that we got Raw Fury's games in front of people. Yeah, they did Blueprints. You know, that's my game of the year from last year. They did Blueprints. That was kind of where that relationship started, was when I played Blueprints. And I was like, Raw Fury, please. I love the games you publish, please. Please. And I find it's been really good because a lot of the time when someone tries to do this kind of stuff where they're working with publishers, they never have a creator as like part of it, right? And I said, I want to kind of make myself the flagship here creator where I test these publishers through myself, make sure that, you know, all the relations are good. I like working with them. I see how they work. It's more than anything. I don't think there's anyone I haven't liked working with for the most part. It's just been like making sure we understand how each company likes to work as we kind of onboard them. And you need a creator opinion in that. Because if you don't have that and you try to build something and put it in front of people and there was no creator opinion in the building of it, a lot of stuff is going to hit the creators and they're going to be like, what the hell is this? You know, they're like, they're never going to like it. So that was my goal here too, was to just be the guinea pig. There are other people who've also been guinea pigs for some of this. So if you saw a VTuber do Rawcember, very, very, very likely that was through me. That was through this stuff. They might not have even known it was fully through me. I wouldn't say it was 100% me, my team, you know. You'll never confirm the rivets. Dude, Raw Fury, I think about the rivets every day. There's 8 of them. There's 8 slots. Anyway, hope for the New Blood partnership. Yeah, I mean, I could just DM Dave. That's the thing. I could just DM Dave. You're a creator and you need something from New Blood? I've DM'd Dave before. We did an exclusive, and this was just through me personally. This wasn't even through the company or anything. I worked with New Blood. And I did kind of similar to what I did with Rawcember, where I did an indie game gauntlet with just games from them. Just games that they published. We already did that. I got the voice actor from Gabriel from Ultra Kill, the voice actor Gianni who voices Gabriel. I got him to make like special voice lines where he goes, "Don't you want a game key machine?" Right? You remember all that stuff? That was just me organizing that with them, with New Blood. So I've been doing this shit for a very long time, where I've been having good relations with publishers and vendors and all this kind of stuff, and sometimes the studio, the devs themselves. So yeah, it's been a long time coming that I've been shoring this stuff up on my own, and then I want to expand it out to everybody, but I had to make sure it worked first. You know what I mean? I had to make sure it worked first. Networking is a superpower. It's the thing I'm good at. Can you pull David in there? I could talk to David. He actually gave me a bunch of keys for his games when we did it. What were you doing at the time? Was it Dusk? I think at the time it was Dusk that we had a lot of keys for. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of games. Was the con booth built through this system? Nah, that was all me. Well, actually, it was partially my team that did talk to the convention as well with me. Yeah, that was mostly a personal venture though. But hey, it could be. That's all stuff I need to think about way later. I don't want to fill the plate too much. I think the worst thing in the world is scope creep. Any of you know what scope creep is? I think a lot of you do. That's the worst thing in the world. So I'm not going to start sitting here and slopping a bunch of extra things. Oh, why don't we do booths at convention? You know, brother, that's my own personal venture. I'm not going to add it to the company. If things get rolling and I want to add stuff later, maybe I will. But you know, but I'll do that as my own personal venture. Again, I'm the guinea pig for this. For anything that I might want to do with other people later, I'll always guinea pig myself. So maybe, but I'm not even going to think about that until everything else is where I want it to be, you know? Please overpromise, please. Yeah, scope creep, my number one enemy, my number one hated thing in this world. So no. No thanks. So we're going to work on the sponsorship stuff. And specifically, the sponsorship stuff, like the system that we've got is already full functioning and I've onboarded several people to it. So now I'm just making the software platform version. I'm acquiring the sponsor company. I'm merging all of this shit together into one thing so it all functions side by side. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice. It'll then, once I do that, then I can actually get a large number of people onto there and try to give them the same systems that I've been using for myself for a while. But yeah, without building a platform, fucking impossible. Impossible. So stuff just isn't scalable until you do that, you know? Thank you for the $5. Thank you for the $5. Thank you. Under promise, over deliver. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to promise you too much. I can't. I know how this goes, okay? I've played these games before. I'm not going to do that to you guys, so yeah. Any other questions? I'm going to do a longer post with more explanations of things, maybe some more specifics. I'll build a little more of an FAQ too, just based off of whatever I see people asking about. And that should hopefully answer a lot of the stuff you could think about. But yeah. Ask me questions. If I don't have my exact answer right now, I'll just use it to build my FAQ. I'm going to get a corpo or suit model. No. Well, maybe. I don't know. I've thought about it, but as you can see, I like being visually dramatic just a little bit. And I think a suit is boring as all get out. I think it's so fucking boring. As you can see, I like visual drama. Not sure if you noticed. Just making sure everyone knows I like designs. Just making sure you all know. Nah, Blazing, I'll just scroll. I'll use it next time. Blazing, I'll use it next time when I definitely go through everything. Is there any sort of email for contacting the company? Ooh, do we have anything posted? Let me see. We have... Oh yeah, we've got to work with us. We got a form and an email. It's on the site. I was gonna say it should be there, but I wanted to double check that before I said that. Yeah, it's on the site. If you just go to sponsorbot.com, there's a big green button on the top right that says work with us. It has our email posted and there's a form. So that's all there. So yeah, if you want to reach out, ta-da. So if you want to assist with anything, if you have any ideas, thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, whatever, you can put them there, but mostly directed at me if it's like a simple question. But if you're looking to work with us on the back end, like you got a real thing going on, that's the spot for it. You said the announcement was very focused on video game companies as the potential sponsors. Are you just focusing on that vertical for now and expanding later? Yeah, I'm focusing because that's where I've been focused, but super open to other things too. I'm going to build this in a way where it doesn't matter. This could be a sponsor of another type. You guys know I work with Cheeky, right? Soap company. I work with Gamer Subs, drink company. I already work with a lot of those things and know how that functions. So it's going to function for that stuff too. Yeah. I just find that the messiest side of things tends to be on the video game companies because it's a lot of small individual sponsorships that happen. So the more times you do a thing, the more times it can mess up, right? Whereas with those types of sponsors, there's a little less error because it's just the count, the number of times a contract is signed and a thing starts is fewer, right? So that side of things, I think, is a little, I wouldn't say always, but it's a little cleaner in general. But a lot of those types of sponsors don't actually come to streamers, and they really could. So that's another thought that I've been having is how can I like make it easy for those types of sponsors to come into this industry if they don't know who's who, know what's what, but they want to get their stuff in front of people. I want to make it a really welcoming platform for them. I don't know, a lot of agencies and things, it's very clear that they've only talked to game companies and they don't really touch other parts of the industry. So I'm trying to make it welcoming for everyone too. So this isn't like I only want VTubers to sign up kind of thing. This isn't, I only want game companies to approach us kind of thing. This is supposed to be as widely available as possible, not gatekeeping any of that kind of stuff, All right, let me scroll. Let me see. Do you have a name yet? The only name you have to worry about right now is SponsorBot. I'm writing some of these down. Are you going to also post some examples of successful sponsorships through us? Because if I wasn't your viewer, I would have known zero stuff proving the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, if you go to the SponsorBot site, you can see where we've listed some campaigns that we've already done. And we have... there's a spot where it's like scrolling images of different games. Actually, there's a lot we need to add on there. There's a lot missing. But there's a bunch of images scrolling of like the box art of games that we've already done campaigns through, or for rather. And that'll kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff we've done. But yeah. But the hundreds of thousands of dollars thing, I mean, I could tell you that I'm on there. There are a lot of different creators that are on there. What I'm trying to do too is I'm going to everyone that we've worked with and I'm seeing who's gonna be willing to go like, oh yeah, I've used them, and raise their hand so that you have that verification. But not everyone likes to talk about like who they work with for every little thing. So I'm not going to get literally every person to stand up and do that. And I'm not going to force them either because that gets kind of weird. So I'm just going to ask, if you would be so kind, and see who's willing to say, yeah, testimonials. Because again, I've been doing it in the shadows and all that. But really, I mean, it's worked out because I tested out myself first, right? And then everyone who wanted to kind of get in on whatever I was doing just asked me. And I said, hey, if you want to try it, here you go. Brought them into it, and it has worked out. But we've just kept it a very like, yeah, it's just her thing kind of thing. You know what I mean? So... yeah. So this is too straightforward. Where's the corpo double speak? Yeah, no, I'd rather throw up. Yep. Is the platform also for sponsors looking for streamers? Yeah. Yeah, it's all sides. It's all sides. That's the problem, is a lot of stuff that people have tried to do is like I said before, very much for one side, which doesn't solve anything at all. Literally zero. So... I think it'll be nice. I'll have a more in-depth write-up for later, though. I will. Do you have a Discord channel set up as in for people to ask and share ideas for it? No. I would not have the manpower to sit there and look through a Discord channel of random people sharing ideas for it. Instead, what I've got are a bunch of creators onboarded that we've already worked with. And I talk to them about how their experiences have gone and see how that all is and their feedback, and then try to work that in. And then same with the publishers and the vendors and devs and all of them on the other side. Same thing. The agents and, managers that we've worked with too. A lot of them I discuss with, and that is how I get ideas for it. I would never have the time to to do that. If only. Any more game collab outfits would be a thing in the future aside from Neo 3? Oh yeah. I'm always cooking on that, always. But I'm not going to say it until it's happening. Do you have to be a company to sponsor people? Not necessarily exactly. That's a more complex question. But if you wanted to sponsor someone for something, just use the form on the site and we'll talk about it and see if it's possible. But you pretty much anything can be a sponsorship if you want it to be. It just has to be handled right. Detective, this is such a specific question that you asked about. It's based off what Batten asked, but I'm going to write it down. Hold on. Because it's a long one. It's a scenario question. Every time you ask a scenario question, I have to sit there and think about it a bunch. Scenario type question. I need my cat to move too. It's blocking my control key. Okay, there we go. You're saying if I have a business PayPal, can I just use that as my business info and try sponsoring people? And could I aim sponsors at individual people? No. On the back end, when we're taking in campaigns and sponsorships and stuff, it's not necessarily going to be the Wild West. We're going to have to do something. So the way we were thinking of doing this, and I'm pretty sure this is the best way to do it, is if you're an unknown entity and you want to do a sponsorship and you're not like, some entity that we've worked with before that we really know, you're kind of more like a random thing coming in wanting to do a sponsor. We're going to take down payments to ensure that those funds exist, because that's something that I've seen happen before, of random entity A comes in for a sponsorship, promises everything gets done by the creator, and then they just are like, oh, just kidding, we don't exist, or something like that. So yeah, if we don't have like an existing big relationship with them, we're going to force them to do some sort of down payment or something, because I don't trust that. I'm with you on that. It's just not safe for everyone. So it's different if it's like someone that we have a really big relationship with and they've been with us for a long time. Even then, I want to like protect people as much as possible, But yeah, I've thought through that because I've seen that. Sorry, I'm so wordy. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. But I also don't want to gatekeep and be like, oh, if you're not one of the 10 coolest publishers, you can't use our site. I don't want to do that either, because there are small ones that are out there that are legit too, especially if it's like a solo dev and his one game and he's like, I just want to sponsor 3 small creators to play it, right? He's going to appear like an unknown entity to us, right? So I don't want to say that guy can't do it and gatekeep him out of it either. So that's why I said, when we were discussing it, we said, if you're like completely unknown and you still want to sponsor, we'll do something where we have to do a down payment, right? Like escrow or something like that. So that way we can ensure that you're at least good for the money that you said you were, right? The creator's not going to get like screwed by that. Because I've seen that. It's terrible. Yeah, Trey, I've seen that too. Trey. You said, I've seen people counter the creator and sponsor speaking directly so that they can keep them separate so that they can make sure they've got the power. Yeah, I also want to like make it so that the dynamics aren't weird, People can see what they need to see, right? If you're a creator and someone's handling your business for you, you can also see how they're handling it, right? I think it's really important. Is there a specific streamer size this targets? Not necessarily. I'm trying to cast as wide a net as possible. So I have, I've had a lot of people that I brought into campaigns already that have been very small streamers, and ones that have been larger streamers, and a lot of medium-sized streamers, because I personally believe, number one, those are the people that need it the most. A lot of the larger streamers, we're just going to reach out to their agencies, like a lot of them aren't really individual. But a lot of the people that are medium or small size and agency-less, or even maybe have an agency but don't really have a lot of opportunities, we've been really good at being able to get stuff for them. So a lot of the money that we have paid out has been to small and medium creators especially. But yeah, and that's the point of the platform is, let's be real, when I was a small creator, a small streamer, no one wanted to sponsor me. No one would take me on. And anyone who did want to sponsor me was offering these terrible rates, like absolutely not worth my time, almost feeling disrespected when I read it kind of rates, which I thought was very bad, but there was no option. And that's just how it was when I was a very, very small creator. And what I wanted to do is just try and make it possible, because I truly believe that when you sponsor a smaller, medium-sized creator especially, those people tend to be more niche audiences. So if you match the right creator to the right sponsor especially, that audience will be a lot more engaged. They tend to be the most engaged audiences anyway, by like how many people in that chat are really paying attention, are there, are typing, all of that stuff. And I feel like that's so much better for everyone involved. You know, if the creator's taking a sponsor and they're like, oh, I like playing roguelikes, so I'm going to take the sponsorship for this new roguelike and see if we like it. They're going to be into it. It's going to be cool. Their chat's going to be into it. Right? It's just good all around. But not everyone like knows that yet. Not everyone understands that yet. You know? Yeah, they play them with chat a lot of time too, right? Which gets them really like excited about it. I don't know. It's just a better thing. So a lot of my aim and my focus is on those medium and small creators, because I feel like genuinely everyone benefits. But yeah, when I was tiny, I mean, there was just no option. There was no option. Absolutely none. Unless it was like, you know, a platform that says, I'm going to pay you 3 cents per user that signs up for this thing. Maybe nothing if no one signs up. Ha ha, play our game for 2 hours, idiot. Right? That's just all I felt like was available to me at the time. And it was just not, it was not good. It was not good. And it was often for like stuff I didn't even want to play. So yeah, I'm going to try and make sure that this works out for some more people, because there's no option. And really, like, I don't really see a lot of my smaller creative friends trying any of these other options and having them work. There's newer stuff nowadays. Like, I'm no longer a small creator. I haven't been one for a while. So every time I see a new thing pop up, I've been like, oh, maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll work. I keep seeing post after post every day about how these things are just not working out. And it's always the issue that I quoted before, where these tools or whatever they are, or it's not even like full platforms. They're usually just like a sponsor company acting like there's something else. Usually it's them just throwing like little scraps of extra budget out on the floor, like pennies that they just throw on the ground and going, who wants it? You know, it's like there is no actual thought behind it a lot of the time. And the small creators, they feel like they don't even want to try taking those sponsors, you know? They just don't even do it. Yeah, you said you've seen smaller creators mentioning on stream that they simply don't know how to and shy out. Exactly. And I think a lot of there's been some good intent. There are people that have tried to build things for creators that hopefully small creators can kind of use. But it tends to be not made by any company that actually has creators involved. So they don't even know like what to build. Like the intent is there, but the execution isn't, because they don't have a team of people to advise that know what's going on. And so it's just, even some of the well-intentioned ideas have really fallen flat. Really fallen flat. Like you can see where they're coming from, but then they just never really get the execution right. So I'm trying to pull in folks from different parts of the industry that have been on all sides of it to try and get this functioning. Because otherwise, I mean, it's just not, you know, it's not good otherwise. But yeah, and it has been functioning, so it's been good. Asking because corpo speak is scary to me. Will it be in quote unquote English or translated corpo speak to English? What the fuck do you mean by that? It's gonna be how I'm talking to you right now. It's gonna be how I'm talking to you. Okay. It's going to be simple explanations, bullet points. Here's how it works. Nothing will be in weird corpo speak. There will be, at worst, legalese, because legally, you know, I've got to have terms of service, right? I'm going to have a TOS that's written up that's going to be as easy to understand as I can make it, right? But yeah, there will be like a TOS and stuff. I'm not going to write the TOS and be like, so what you're going to do is this, you know. It's going to be normal to us, but I'm not going to give you a 5,000 page document and go, you know, read through this. I'm going to have a basic TOS, and there you go. You know? How is it to be back at a corporate level, not only as a creator, but as a business owner now? I missed stuff like this. I did, but I like being a creator, so I didn't want to do something that would take 100% of my time and be something that I couldn't balance with it. So a lot of my other ideas that I had, I kind of threw away because I was like, this is getting to like passion project level. If I had that amount of time, if I was retired, you know, whatever. But with this, I'm able to be very involved, but also there are some things that are time consuming. I don't have to be the one doing. I just have to be there for oversight. So that part is nice. That part is very nice. I like being back, you know what I mean? I like being back. Spreadsheets are comforting. It's a lot more than spreadsheets, but yeah. Yeah. I just like seeing things organized. I like seeing things that are really messy just get untangled and laid out to be simple. And I like doing that for friends. I've had like I said, a lot of small creator friends that couldn't get sponsors. I've rolled them into this, large creator friends too, but a lot of the smaller ones, where I've rolled them into this and gotten them some campaigns here and there, and like seeing them be able to just have this really easy system to get what they need and to be paid rates that are not insulting to them, and to have no issues, to get their payout. You know, when we get it in, we then direct it toward them as soon as we make sense to do so. We just do it, right? And just seeing that all function is very comforting, because I've seen so many other people not do this, you know? I've seen so many people not do this properly. And, you know, a lot of it, it's not always, like I said, it's not always that it's ill intent. A lot of time it's just messiness, you know? Good intent, and how do they say it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. It happens a lot, so I'm trying to make it so that shit can't happen as much. Because if maybe we'll get pizza parties. We could have pizza parties. We could have pizza parties. Yes. Yes. Have you fully acquired the company, or we're in talks? We're in the process of acquiring. In the process. Did Geega start a union? No, I have not. No. Building a platform. Go read the thing. Go read the thing. That's all you need for now. I'm gonna tonight, tomorrow, whenever I'm getting to it, because I have to DM a lot of people back. I'm gonna be sitting there and just going over my longer version for people that gives a little more detail, or I don't know if I want to just structure it as an FAQ. Maybe I think an FAQ might be easier. I don't know. I'll figure it out as I just kind of see reactions and, like, you know, what people are asking. But yeah. I'll do that later. So some of the questions, if you see me not answering them, it's because it'll be in there. You enjoyed designing the UX? I mean, yeah, basically it's been like the entire time that I've been working on systemizing this stuff, I've been sitting with my own team and making comments about the UX and tweaking this over months and months and months and months and months. So yeah, getting it to this point, enjoying it is an understatement, because it's my own business. It's my own shit and how it's handled that is affected by this, the version that we currently have. So yeah. Yeah, it's been really nice. It's been really nice. It's not even happiness. It's like, you know, super cathartic, you know, super cathartic. Will it be easy to maintain staying anonymous with this? Very easy. That's actually, it's a huge problem uniquely for VTubers, but for a lot of creators in general. So if you sign up, you have to sign up, right? You're going to auth in with your Twitch, so we verify you're the right channel. It's going to be a few things, but you sign up. However, you will be able to have an agent or manager also get in there. So when we do payouts, for example, you won't have to give us your bank info. You could have someone else grab it for you, which is what most people do. This is why most people have their managers or have their agencies and things. It's that they can be the ones signing for them and stuff as well. So you'll be able to assign someone on there as an agent for you. And it doesn't even have to be like you signed with a huge company. You could have a personal, just one person hired in that you're trusting with this on your own, and you have your own operating agreement with them, you know, whatever it is, whatever you want to do. As long as you approve them from your account to do that, then they're approved. That's really all we need. And I wanted to make that be the case, because man, every system wants you to put all of your information in it. And I'm really a big proponent of not doing that, not having to do that, right? But someone's information has to be somewhere, because someone has to sign papers and someone has to get paid, right? So it's not like we can 100% avoid it. So the best way is to allow you to assign someone else to do certain things in your stead. And then from there, I at least let you see all the information you need to see, so you can then make sure that they're handling stuff right for you, right? Like if you know you're supposed to get paid $100 for this sponsor, I can tell you through the platform, hey, yeah, I paid your agent $100 because they're the one that you set up to accept it for you, maybe, right? And then you know that they got paid and you know the amount, you know when it happened. And then you can go to them and verify. Now you have what you need to verify it, right? There's no chance for your agent to be like, oh, I didn't get paid though, LOL. You know, there's no chance that they can pretend they didn't, right? So like I said earlier, like if someone's doing something wrong, they would get caught with their pants down because of the system being like this. So, you know, it's very important to me, very, very important to me, because things right now, the way they're handled is that the sponsors will pay your agency or your manager, whoever you set up to grab stuff for you because you want to keep your identity, you know, close to yourself. And then that person just has to do it right. And you just have to trust they did it right. And if they didn't, you don't have the receipts to be able to point to be like, actually, you did get paid on this date for this amount. You don't know. Let's say they're supposed to take a fee. Let's say I'm going to throw out a ridiculous number, 1%. Let's say they're supposed to get 1% of a thing. You can see the total receipt and then you can see what you got and you can verify that they only took 1%, right? Things like that. So that's what I wanted to do with the system, is make sure that you can see what the hell is going on, because that's been the biggest issue with all of these company implosions and things is people being unable to verify anything, really, anything at all. So hopefully. So would I be able to use like a business PayPal info for that? We're working on all that stuff right now. I'll have more info later, but that's what I'm trying to do, is to allow you to set things up in a way so that you could accept it. Are there going to be commission fees for sponsorships? There's going to be like a monthly fee for the service. So we're not actually taking a fee from the creator. My goal was, I don't want to pull money from what the creator is supposed to get. So there will just be a separate fee that we charge to the sponsor, to the source where the money is coming from. The creator is not in that conversation. They're not in that conversation. So, because I don't want to do that. If you see a campaign and you pitch $100, you're like, I want to do $100 pitch for this, and that's accepted by the sponsor, you will get paid $100. That's it. That's all. And then any fees that we want to take, we want to handle, whatever, are separate from that. And you will not have to worry about that, because, I don't like that system, personally. The creators will not pay us, you know, out of their fee or something. That is just not a thing. No, thank you. I don't think it should work that way. You know? Do you think doing this will impact on a positive way into the sponsors that are more inclined to work with large corporations such as Twitch, like Twitch inviting some content creators to TwitchCon and sponsoring them, whatever? I'm going to invite everyone to try and use it and to talk to us about if they have larger projects like that. If they want to use it, they can. Yeah. They could. I hope it does have bigger impact, because my goal is to just sort of get a lot of people on the platform. But we'll see. I think it'll be nice, because I'm going to try and build it in a way, like I said, where it's not just game companies that have to use it. It can also be other companies. Let's say you're running an event, right? You're running an event and you're getting sponsored by a company to do that event. It's stuff like that we're going to explore. We're going to explore how that's going to work. But there's a lot of legalese there. So, I don't want to say like a specific, we'll do exactly this or exactly that, until we're 100% sorted on that. But yeah. Sponsors paying you for the outreach of the creator. Yeah. Exactly. I was making scripts crampy. Would I miss everything? Absolutely everything. 100% everything. Cheeky Manscaped G-Subs, do you feel come to mind? Yeah, I don't want it to be a platform where you are forced into having to only use it, or rather it's gatekeeping, right? So that only game companies can use it or whatever. I want that all to be very possible through it. I don't see a reason why it can't be. I think people are just used to the usual format, you know? How far would you be from the project directly? Like, what if a sign creator suddenly raises some beef against you as a person? Will that impact the business side of the equation? I'm trying to not have that be related. Like, I'm going to work on the platform, right? But I'm not trying to get personally involved with anything going on. I'm not trying to get the company personally involved if you know, someone's got beef or whatever. I don't even know what beef they would have. But I'm trying to keep that all very separate because this is just a platform, you know? This is just a platform. It's not like a company representing people like that. It's not a talent management thing. It's not an agency. So that is the big part of it. We're not supposed to be representing people. And yeah, I'll be part of it, obviously, like myself. But again, I'm just building the platform, you know? It's like Tinder. Maybe a little more complex and organizational than that. But yeah, in a way. I do want it. I mean, well, let's think about it, though. Tinder makes it so that you can cut through a lot of the nonsense to just quickly yes, no. There is some of the idea of trying to be more efficient, but I do think it's maybe a little too surface level. Something like Tinder, like a quick yes, no. No, I just want it to be more so like there can be a lot of in-depth stuff, but it will all be in one spot. Because like I said at the very beginning, the thing I hate the most is when people are trying to talk between publisher, creator, agent, you know, whatever, and they're just emailing back and forth. And there are like 20 different emails down in this one chain, and there's new information in every email, and now you have to rely on a manager to go through all that and not miss anything and give it to the creator properly. Everything's just so messy. So my goal here is kind of like what Tinder does, where it tries to aggregate everything into one spot so you have a source of truth, quote unquote. It's like that, except it's not at all like Tinder, but you know what I mean. But yeah, and it's very much like for all sides. So if you're listening, if you're a publisher, a dev, a studio, and you want to start working with us, please reach out on the site or just DM me if I know you or if you know me. Just DM. I actually saw a few people already reply that I have to make sure. I've got a spreadsheet open of just like all the people I need to say hi to because there's so many people being like, I want to know. Okay, can I, you know, I want to talk to you about this. And I have to I have to go through all of them. I'm going to go through every single one of them. Oh, was this a personal one you just kind of want to share with others? Yeah. That's how this all came about. I mean, it was just me like trying to systemize and organize my own shit. Because I was like, hey, this like agency thing for me, if I don't have my hands in it, it's not working out. I do not like handing the reins to someone else entirely and then just being like, yeah, you got it. You know, I never liked doing that really. So I was like, how can I systemize stuff so that I can have people represent me, but also, you know, things aren't done in a way where I don't know what's going on. So I've gotten that done. And as you can see, I've done a lot of really crazy projects the past like year, especially. So I took what I had already built for myself and said, okay, how can I recreate this, clone this in a way where other people can do this too? That's really it. So it's kind of like, you know, Charlie made Cheeky soap, and it started off as he was just making soap for himself because he didn't like bar soap in its current form a lot of the time. And he was so dry. He had dry skin. So he made his own soap. And then after was like, I should sell this to people because the soap's really good. That was what I did, but with sponsors. You know what I mean? That's what this is, realistically. Except instead of soap, it's a platform to connect people across the industry. Know what I mean? That's really it. Do you expect to talk about the business a lot going forward, or will it mostly be private once the initial rush is done? I mean, I think it'll be really self-explanatory. I don't think I'm going to have to do a crazy amount of explaining. I think the easiest will be when it's in beta and we have even more creators onboarded on that. Right now it's like pre-ultra alpha because I'm having people kind of just get onboarded to the way I currently do things somewhat. Plus some tools. So that is all working out just fine, but I think when you can like click through, it'll make a lot more sense, especially, you know? But yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm just glad. That's not on topic, but I just want to mention you have a cool looking model. You have second form of final boss vibes. That's crazy you say that because this is phase 2. You want to see phase 1 of the boss fight? It's this. That's how you know when it's done right, is when someone comes in and goes, it looks like this, and you go, it is that. It is phase 2. It is phase 2. Woo! It is. Will there be ways to invest in the company? I don't know about the future. Right now, no investors. Right now, I do not have any outside investment or anything like that. In the future, I don't know. But at this moment in time, it just depends on like if I needed to expand this really fast, I might consider it for later.
This my initial investment.
Thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you for the hundo. Thank you for the 100. Appreciate it. But I think especially in this early build out phase, I just want control of it.
Geega instead, Corpa.
I want control of it. I think things can be okay when you build something and then later you have someone come into something that's already built. But when you have someone come in really early and invest and you go, here's the game plan, and then they're like, actually do it like this. I don't want that. You know? I don't want that. That's ew. No, thank you. So that I don't mind it later after it's built because then they can't like upheave the entire thing like that so easily. But yeah, I don't want to do it like early. Are there plans in place to handle equal distribution of sponsors as the amount of creators grow? Thank you for the bits. To prevent certain creators from getting the majority of sponsors over others. So we're not going to make those decisions. That's not us. Again, we're not the talent management company or the agency representing those people. It's going to be on the publishers, on the game developers, on the sponsors to decide when they see all the pitches what they want to take. It's going to be on them. Again, we're just the platform. We're not going to get like personally involved in that. You know what I mean? So it'll be on them more than anything. So that way it's not, because that is a thing when there is like one agency handling stuff, where they always just go to one agency. Because I do agree that can be an issue. Something here, I'll give you an example. Something that happens a lot is there are certain companies. Thank you for the dono. Thank you. Huge Jupiter. Thank you. What occurs is a game will be coming out, and whatever marketing agency they're using or their publisher or whatever, whoever's representing them as a sponsor will come out there and be like, all right, it's time. Our game's coming out in 3 months and we need creators to play it. I've got some budget, for this marketing. Let's get creators on board. And they start doing their outreach. And sometimes they hit up one whale of an agency, one huge agency, and that agency just soaks it all up. That one agency will just go and just soak it all up, and then there's nothing left. Crumbs, dust, nothing for anyone else. And this is a big reason why a lot of small and medium creators don't even get in, So my hope is with the platform that it's a more even playing field for a lot of different people and their agents to pitch to these campaigns as they come up. Because right now, again, they happen via email. There's no like open spot to see a lot of this stuff. So the issue you're talking about, a lot of that happens because they just reach out to this one agency they know, and that one agency just goes and just pulls in all of the budget to their creators, and that's it. Done. So, yeah. So we're not going to necessarily sit there and like hand things to certain people because we're trying to even it out personally. We're not going to like do that distribution ourselves, but we are going to make a space where it can happen, if that makes sense. Also, Turbo, thank you for the 5 gifted. And Henyo! Oh, you had a manual raid. Is she good? Is she good? Did anything weird happen? Or is she chilling? Is she chilling? Did her stream die or something? Internet gone out? No. Oh, she forgore. She's immediate. Okay, that's fair. She forgore. Well, thank you for coming here if you did. Thank you if you did. Appreciate it. If you don't know Henya, go follow Henya. It's me, Geega. Raiders, it's me, Geega. Remember me? I was talking about, I announced a big old thing on Twitter. I'm making a company. And I was just talking about it and letting people ask questions if they had them. But I would say read the tweet. Hold on, where is the... Do we have a pinned? There's like 1,000 things at the top and a hype train, so I can't even see if we have a pin.
I was told there's jobs down here. To the left. Okay, have a good one.
Find it. Have a good one. Jeff is still stuck in the well, by the way. Okay, here's the tweet. Here's the tweet.
Attention Castle Geega visitors. If you think you heard a voice coming from the well, you did not. There is most certainly nothing there. Nor is anyone trapped within. Please enjoy your stay while keeping as far from the well as possible.
Yes,
Thank
yes. 6 feet. 6 feet from the well. Thank you. All right, there. Now the link is pinned. The link to my tweet is pinned. Also, thank you, Hebe, for the raid as well. If you wanted to see the announcement, it's right there. It's right there. And I would appreciate as much signal boosting as possible because, you know, I don't have 1 million followers on Twitter. So if I want to get this in front of people, I got to really get in front of people. You know what I mean? So appreciate it. But yeah, big things coming. Henya watched your announcement but didn't quite get it. Chat told her about it. Yeah, if you guys, readers, if you have any questions, you can ask them. If I have an answer for it right now, I'll give you the answer for it. If I don't, I'm writing it down because I was going to make the tweet that I posted is actually the small one. And I was going to make a bigger one that has more explanation. And also, I just want to see what people ask so I can, like, you know, do that. I can figure out what to put in there. I have some semblance, but you know what I mean. So yeah, if you have questions, it does help me. It does help me out. So I don't have to tweet 500 more times about it. You know?
Is this where the jobs? Oh, they're all customer service. Is there a well down here I could go jump in?
Yes. Maybe follow the instructions of staying 6 feet from it. Here, hold on. I'm writing down one of your questions. I'm writing down some of your questions. But yeah, if you can help signal boost, it does help me a lot. I'm trying to make sure I have a lot of publishers on board already. So I'm just trying to reach any that maybe I don't already have on board, or especially devs. There are some that don't go through publishers; they self-publish. So I want to make sure they see it too. That's pretty big because usually the ones that do sponsorships are through publishers. But I have been reached out to before, where sometimes an individual, like a small studio or small dev, wants to do a sponsor, but they have no idea how to do it. And that's something that I want to help with too, because I don't think they should have to. This is actually something I care about a lot on the game industry side, is I don't think people who self-publish games should have to go and change that and go through a regular publisher just to be able to do sponsorships and things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they should be forced, railroaded into that as that being their own option. So I'm also hoping for this, if they want to, like, you know, just as a representative of the studio itself, come to us and have us help them get a sponsorship out there. I think that would be really nice, because sometimes they really want to self-publish, but they're like, I don't know how to do the marketing part of it with, like, the streamers, the creators, whatever. So I'll just join a publisher. And then it's not always the right move for them, but they really want the marketing part, you know? So I'm really hoping that we can maybe fill that gap a little bit too, because there's indie and AA have been really, like, moving up, really moving up and doing well. But there's a little there's a little need to help out the ones that self-publish, I feel. Or a lot of need, actually. A lot of need. But yeah. So that's my goal, is to just make a set of a bunch of tools on this one platform that can help everybody. Also, I saw one of your questions. You said, Callus, you said, so the site's basically a listing for creators so they can see upcoming sponsors they can apply for. Yes, plus a lot of stuff. So we also, on top of that, we also have some special tools that, like the people that are in the pre-alpha right now have, that just don't exist anywhere, to make it more than that. Because I don't want it to be just that. There's a lot more to it. There are a lot more things to it that streamline this and make this really easy to use and work this into your everyday as a creator or as a publisher. So there's a lot of things we're integrating with. So, but you'll see that later. Will it have AI? No. What the hell would I put AI in there for? Nope. It will not. I don't even know how I would use it to in any way make it like better, quote unquote. I can't even think of a good use case for it. My cat's blocking me. Lucky, why won't you say hi in the mic to them? I'm telling them about all this corpus stuff, and the least you could do is meow in the mic as my comedic relief, and you won't even do that. He's just sleeping. He just sleeps. He just sleeps below the mic. Useless. Here's an AI rendering of how much fun the stream would be. Yeah, I mean, I could only think of like demented ideas like that. Like I couldn't think of an actual good usage. Nope. Anything I could think of that you could use it for, we could just build like normally with regular development. Like there's no reason for it that I could personally think of. You know? You're nervous about starting this whole project alongside with the excitement? No, I feel really not nervous about it because I've been doing it already, you know, which is kind of why I wanted to wait, right? Like I wanted to show you and announce something that is already functioning after it's already found success. That's when I wanted to announce it. So I don't really have the nerves or anything related to it because it's not a maybe to me, you know? It's not a maybe. Will it let me send a box of donuts delivered to my favorite streamers? No, fuck no. Absolutely not. Nope. I'm not going to take Joe Streamer's address and then let you send them stuff. No, thank you. It will be for sponsorships. It'll be for sponsorships. What about big data? You don't need AI to handle large data sets. You really don't. You really don't. You guys don't understand. She's the goat. She's built different. She is not bald. Exactly. Precisely, man. Precisely. Is there a chance for a company satellite? We might make an office on the moon. I think that's one of the eventual goals. Moon office. Moon office. I guess the best way I could put it with like, talking about like big data sets, things like that. Something we will do that's really important. We will make some basic algorithms to help people sort through shit. Basic stuff. Absolutely. Is that going to be any sort of like AI as it is presented to the public? No. No. Definitely not. But we'll do like the basic, you know, things to help you find the right stuff, to help them find the right people. Some of that. But we're not going to like, no, we're not going to use like a whole AI tool or anything. Nope. Nope. Isn't the moon already destroyed? Well, it's still in pieces. We can set up a base on there. Why not? You said that there would be an agent to pass the money through to maintain anonymity. Will those agents have to be something a creator brings in themselves, or will they be able to find or be provided through the platform? Ooh. So I've thought a lot about that, and I think that's like a later thing. But I have thought the same question to myself. I think for now, for the earliest phase, they'll have to pick somebody. They'll have to bring someone in and go, this is the person I'm signing in as my agent or my manager or whatever, right? I do want to, over time, I don't know if it'll be like partnering with people or just finding people that through working with the platform we find are really good to work with and good at their jobs that we then ask, do you have availability? I'm not sure how it would work, but I have thought about that. I think that's a later thing, but something that's good is by being part of this platform, I'm going to be able to do a lot of figuring out who's good at these kinds of jobs, right? Who makes a good manager, who makes a good agent. And if those people have availability and I know someone who needs someone, I might be able to do a little bit of that. And then if I can do that process manually nicely, maybe eventually I can build that in a little bit. But that's a very later thing. It is on my mind though. It is on my mind that people do need better matching to find that kind of staff. But I think in the early phase, that would be scope creep. If I try to put that in early, because I think that can get it can get messy if I haven't tested that a lot. You know what I mean? I have already done this on the back end where I have some people that I know that do work as individual managers. And I've had friends sign up to this stuff and they're like, okay, I got the sponsor end done. I still want someone to do just my basic talent management though. I want someone for scheduling, my day-to-day, whatever. And I have connected friends to people that I know do just solo management like that and gotten that to work out. So on the personal end, I've done that. I would just need to figure out a good way to systemize it if I wanted to do it that way, which I'm not sure of yet. Not sure of. But yeah, it is a thought on my mind though. But that's why I'm just making it so that anyone can set up an agent. So it doesn't have to be a highly professional agency that you sign up to. You could just have a friend that you trust. It's anyone that you pick, a family member or whatever. If the point is to hide your info, maybe just a friend, but you know what I mean. If you wanted to set something up and then have your own operating agreement with someone anyone you could set them up as your manager or agent. So that's kind of the point, so that it gives you flexibility to put whoever you want in front of your own info and whoever you're comfortable with. That's the important part to me. So the first iteration is just going to be very simple. You just sign up who you want into that slot. Grape. Hello. Thank you for the resub. Thank you. Will there be a vetting process to make sure there are no bad actors sneaking into the pipeline? Yeah, all the early stuff right now, all the early build out, everyone is talking to us. And we're watching how they do things and making sure they're doing things right. So that's all sides. Any creators that are trying to work through our stuff right now, anyone who's a publisher or sponsor in general. We are keeping our eyes on everything so that no matter what, our initial group of people will be really well vetted. And then we'll go from there. There's still, one of my goals with this too is that there will still be a human touch here. There will still be a human touch. If there are issues, people will do what they can to figure out what the hell went on. If someone keeps repeatedly doing things wrong, I don't want them to just be able to continue to do that. We'll put stuff in place. It's not going to be a platform that we set up and go and then it's the Wild West and we just leave it. You know what I mean? We're not going to be okay, it's running, haha, and then just wipe our hands clean. It's still, there is a lot of human element on the back end. Especially with publishers and stuff. They're not going to have to always be the ones clicking every button themselves too. We're going to help, set some things up for them if they want, right? If they want to take their usual approach of talking to us about stuff and then we help them set it up, they can do that. We don't have to be out of the equation. So, there'll be a lot of human touch for sure. I think if you take that out of it, you start going down a slippery slope, you do. But yeah. Where do you see this in 5 years, just chugging along or evolving and expanding over time? Half joke, but also half not. I don't know. I mean, if things go well, my hope is that we've got as many people from all sides of things on there as possible. I hope people will see the value in the accountability part of this for all sides. All sides benefit from this. Because genuinely, there are no tools in place to keep each other accountable with this leg of the industry. There's just nothing. There's nothing, right? If I, the creator, do something wrong, they can just be like, I guess I won't pay you then. I don't know, right? It's all very vague. If the publisher does something wrong, I don't know. It's just hard. It's just hard because the thing is, it's the verification. It's the verification. You can do something when a scenario happens, but you have to figure out what happened. And like I was saying earlier, no one knows when something goes wrong. No one knows where it happened, which individual did what wrong. There's no paper trails done properly, etc. And all of it's done so manually. So my hope is to make sure that this is a spot where people can keep each other accountable. And that is hopefully going to be really valuable and get a lot of people using it, because then, you know, they can make sure that if you're going to take a sponsor, let's say you're a creator, you can say, hey, can you do it through this? Because I don't know if I can trust, you know, if you don't do it through this, for example. Same thing from the publisher side. They could say, hey, you know, I really don't like just sending everything to you via email. I'd really like to do it through this platform, so I know you, the agent, and your creators have seen all the deliverables and you can actually do them. So please use this platform. My hope is that it's like that, because I'm just really trying to make it so that people can't, you know, to be simple, can't fuck each other over so easily, because they can. It sucks. It sucks. They can. So, yeah. But I do think, I'll just say I have a really good team. I have a really good team, and a lot of the people on this team have dealt with a lot of unique scenarios like this, and I think we're going to be really prepared for pretty much any circumstance that's going to come up. I think we'll be pretty prepared for it, because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't build a bozo team is how I'll put it. It's not a couple bozos who have never done anything like this before, you know. It's people who actually have done things, okay? That's very important to me as well. Because I think a lot of issues that crop up and are not handled well, it's not anyone having ill intent, it's inexperience. So, doing what I can to not have that be the case. You know? But all companies need a personality hire. Surely we'll find one. Surely we'll find one. We'll get a mascot or something. I don't know. We'll hire a damn mascot, and there you go. I'll ask one of them, be like, any of you got a cousin that's like kind of half useless? We need a personality hire. We'll get one. Hire one guy named Bozo for something. Surely. Imagine not having a personality hire in a content-based company. Well, that's the problem. You would think it would be the creator who's the face of it, but I'm also like a person who's done shit in that industry, so we don't have anyone that's useless. We need one useless guy. I'll find one, surely. With time. On the accountability note, will the platform also provide a liaison for legal things, i.e. reputable and knowledgeable lawyers that understand this industry for when things go wrong? To the creators, you mean? Creators should have their own lawyers. Creators should have their own lawyers to look over stuff. I legally could not, there's a way to do it, but it'd be a whole thing. Typically, you don't share the same lawyer, so anyone that we would have on our legal team, we would not be like, oh yeah, just use our guy too, blah, blah, blah. You know, we'll have our own team for anything we got to handle. Creators should have their own people for anything they got to handle. You don't want to cross the beams. If you mean, but the company itself, yeah, we've got legal, and that's all fine. We're all good. We will encourage people to do their due diligence, whether they do or not, you know, that'll be on them. But we will encourage creators definitely to make sure that they have someone if something goes wrong. But it depends on where something goes wrong, you know. And again, the tool is built in a way so that stuff doesn't go wrong as much as possible. So, yeah. The whole point is to kind of like avoid that even happening, not even get there. You said, aside from legal reasons, it sounds like scope creep to provide legal aid to everyone. Yeah. This is, again, why I don't want this to replace, like, agencies and stuff, too, right? I want people to still, if they like being with an agency, have an agent, you know, or whatever. Because oftentimes the agencies in your talent management companies, those are the ones that help you with finding legal. You know, either they have their own people that they can give you to represent you, or they just know someone who's good and they're like, yeah, here's their number, or, you know, whatever. So typically that's who a creator would go to. And then if you don't have that, you can just find one. You can just find one on your own. You find representation. But yeah. Yeah. It actually is kind of beam crossy though. Yeah. If we get involved with like, oh, use this person or whatever, that's, someone said earlier, but that's how you get got. Exactly. I would want people to go and source their own person anyway, just personally, so that they have someone that they're 100% sure of, you know, that is in their corner. I think that's important. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Bruce. We were talking about the thingy. I gave Bruce a rundown of it. I gave Bruce a whole rundown. How are you doing, Bruce? I hope you're well. Raiders, we were talking about my platform. I'm building a thingy. The tweet at the top is pinned. I won't repeat everything, but I was just taking questions about it. Any other questions? I want to play Mugenics. I want to play video games. I am a streamer after all. Yakuza. Ooh. Oh yeah, you've been playing Kiwami, right? I think you've been playing through Kiwami. That's another one. Someone was asking for examples of like stuff we've done successfully. The same company did, remember when I got sponsored to play Kiwami? Same company. Same one, successful campaign. Ta-da. There's another one. I don't know, any sponsor you've seen me take in like the last year-ish. All the same source. So, if you've seen me work, if you've seen me work with a company, they're definitely in our Rolodex. Wait, that's a lot. Yeah, I know. This is why I'm comfortable announcing this and talking about this and being like, it's time to tell you that I'm doing this thing, because it's been going very well for a while. Yep. Because again, I don't want to put stuff in front of you unless I've tried it myself, and then also like guinea pigged some friends into it, and I feel good about it. You know? You know what I mean? Are you excited or scared? No. No, I'm neither. I'm perfectly zen and living a Buddhist lifestyle. I feel nothing and everything all at the same time. Is there a place we can write questions so you can reference them later? Oh, you could go to the Discord. Maybe put them in. We have a chat that's called Geega now. That one is the general, like, anything about me or the stream kind of chat. Rather than the general, which is about anything. You can go in there. You can go there and just be like, question, because I am going to build an FAQ. I'm going to build it. Were you technically working with this company while in VShojo? Yeah. As you know, in my time in VShojo, I only had like 4 total sponsors ever, even though I was there for almost 2 years. And yeah, volume of sponsor-wise, they didn't give me shit. However, the whole time I was doing a lot of sponsors. That was a mix of, it was my own team that I then over time built into this, if that makes sense. So I don't know the exact timeline. There were times when it was like, just, you know, I'll send my guy to do this thing, right? And then from there, as that was working out well, then I kind of shored it up and brought it together to be what it is now. But yeah. Even the Demon X Machina exclusive sponsor, yes, same thing. If you saw me play exclusively Demon X Machina like an hour, like a month before it was ever even released, I got to just have the whole game and sit there and play it on stream. Yeah. Same people. So, as you can see, I'm pretty confident in how things have been going. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you saw Koei Tecmon's reply. Yeah, I love that team, man. That's why you weren't concerned with leaving. No, and this is the point I was making earlier. Like, I think if you're a creator joining an agency, and then you pop out of it, you leave it, or maybe you are not in an agency and then you join one, whatever. It shouldn't be this like insane process, and it shouldn't halt up your flow of all of your business that you're doing because you're just making this shift. If your eggs aren't all in one basket, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So for me, my eggs were not all in one basket, right? I already had my own system kind of setting up of getting all my own sponsors done and everything. So when I left VShojo, people were like, oh my God, are you going to be okay? And I was like, yeah. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. It's because I already built this stuff up a bit, you know? So that's what I want for other people to have. Those are really like spurred me to now make this a more widely available thing, because no one else really has that, right? They all put all their eggs into one basket, which is their agency or their one guy that they hire to do this stuff for them. And then if anything happens with that business relationship and it changes, they're just like dropped out on the street, you know, with nothing. Like they're actually just kicked out. Okay, yeah, we'll just shut down your email that's with our URL. You could just go use your own personal email now. And like all the sponsors, all the publishers, there's stuff that's happened recently where like there's been some shifts of certain like departments at some companies, or like creators not being with certain companies, whatever it is, right? There's been a lot of shifts recently. And I had publishers asking me, being like, hey, could you DM so-and-so? I don't know who represents them anymore. And their email's bouncing stuff back saying it doesn't even exist anymore. So I don't think they're with that company, but I don't know, because people don't publicize all of this. And then the publishers have no idea. And they're like, hey, it's Q1. It's time for lots of sponsors, which you guys have probably seen me do a lot in February. They love to just all collapse down onto February for whatever reason. But they're like, it's Q1. I got to get my sponsors done. And these publishers are like, I don't know who to talk to, you know? There was so much of this year, because there was a lot of shifting of people between different companies and stuff, and the representation of their agents over the winter. And I cannot tell you how many times I had to just this should never be the case, right? This is another thing I want to build into the platform. I a creator, was DMing and emailing publishers and things, because they would ask me, hey, can you ask so-and-so who represents them now, or like how I get to them for a sponsor? Because like it's in a week, you know? And then I'm DMing them and going, hey, are you still with so-and-so, or does this thing represent you? Because this publisher wants to give you a sponsor. And I'm like doing all this in DMs. And as I was doing this, I was like, you know, it should really just be a thing on their profile on my platform, right? Where like if I want to separate from my agency and use a different email, I should be able to click a button and be like, that ain't my agent anymore. And then it shows whatever email I want it to show. And then all my deals go to that. Done, right? Like it should just be very simple. I shouldn't have to have publishers DMing me, asking me like how to get to people. You know, it should be really simple. So again, the big phrase here is just source of truth. I just want this to be a spot where everyone can figure out like, the Rolodex is just updated, you know. It just needs to happen because there's so many issues with it this year. A bunch of the games this quarter that should have had more people sponsored kind of didn't because of this. And it really messed up the flow for a lot of the vendors and the sponsors. So yeah. I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen. It's very messy and confusing, you know. But that's the point we're at with the publishers. I hope that speaks for itself, right? Where they're just DMing me now. They're like, hey, Geega, I got a question about people in the industry. Can you answer it? And I go, okay. So I'm glad to be of help, but I would much prefer if they could just look at a page, you know, to be able to like figure it out, not have to worry about DMing me. They were so apologetic too. They're like, I'm sorry to be doing this way. You know? Yeah, he said, that sounds like if your friend is asking you to ask the girl you have PE class with if she likes them. It's so convoluted, man. Geega as a service. Yep. I could have been doing that this whole time. Oh, Luke, you're the best because you never DM'd me like that. Luke represents Marvelous and Exceed. You never have DM'd me and been like, hey, can you ask so-and-so if they want this thing? Oh, man. It happened so much for quarter one, Luke. It was crazy. It was actually crazy. I felt so bad. Man. I do feel like an information broker, but I'm not, but except I don't get paid for it. I just do this cause. Like, and I shouldn't have to be. This should all just be posted somewhere, you know? It should be that easy. I don't know. It was an interesting time at the beginning of this year, but all the more reason for me to try and get this out the door faster, so. Yeah. Anyway, I've beaten the topic to death. I want to play Mugenics. It's time. It's time. It's time. We were on a pretty good run yesterday. We were on a pretty good run. It was going pretty well. And then I opened No Man's Sky and started playing with Mike, so we got to go back to that. My cat is being really cute right now. Thank God I can play this game just with a mouse because he is fully... Okay, imagine cat sits like loaf sideways. His head is on the right side looking at my mouse and his butt is on the left side. He's on my desk mat in front of my keyboard. And then he just rolled back away from me. His spine is now pointing toward the keyboard and his stomach is toward me. So he was loafed and he just went, ugh. And he just like, over to the side, you know? He's so comfortable right now. Oh, he's on the spacebar. Lucky. I can't type M for Mugenics if you're on the spacebar. He really likes my new keyboard because it's a little flatter profiled. Like, it's not super boxy on the bottom. And he loves to lay on it. He loves it. He's like, man, you know, I'm just gonna lay my entire back on this shit. And he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. Okay, let's go here.